We have 11 amazing restaurants featuring a wide variety for every price range and appetite. South Point's Garden Buffet has something for everyone at unbeatable prices. Or, if hunger strikes in the middle of the night, join us at Coronado Cafe. The American menu offers breakfast, lunch, or dinner 24 hours a day, plus a Chinese kitchen for authentic Chinese dishes from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. From steak and eggs to wonton soup, it's fast and friendly service 24/7. When you need a quick pick-me-up, you can find it at our state-of-the-art Starbucks just inside the main South Point entrance. Order ahead with the Starbucks app for easy mobile order pickups. Or enjoy your favorites in the relaxing dining area anytime, day or night. If you love Mexican food, Baja Miguel's has all of your south-of-the-border favorites. There are dozens of classics to choose from, like fajitas, ceviche, chimichangas, tacos, and more. And for spirit lovers, Baja's colorful non-smoking tequila bar is right outside.
I'm former Major League pitcher Andy Pettitte. I teamed up with Tunnel to Towers after seeing their life-changing work with military and first responder families. Now we're expanding our mission to help veterans struggling with homelessness. We want to help them rebuild their lives not only by giving them a home, but by providing the services they need. Please join me in donating at t2t.org.
My name is Wally Joyner. I was a first baseman for the Angels, Padres, Royals, and Braves. I give the Tunnel to Towers because of what they provide for the veterans, the military, the first responders, the police, the firemen who go out and put their lives in danger for our freedoms. I think it's an incredible charity, an incredible foundation. Their goals of helping the families that protect us. I'm asking you to support the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. The foundation is committed to delivering mortgage-free homes to catastrophically injured service members, Gold Star, and fallen first responder families with young children. Never forget.
It's Derby time at Los Alamitos when the West Coast Best race in the Golden State Derby Final. The field will be headed by fastest qualifier Rockin' With Energy, who has been on a roll with back-to-back wins. Plus, top filly Cowgirl Up has also impressed. They'll face the top sophomore male at Los Alamitos right now in Grade 1 winner BP Cartel Policy. Plus, Governor's Cup Derby winner Mask Mandate and more. What a quarter-horse derby it'll be. It's the Golden State Derby at Los Alamitos.
The following is a Race Day Las Vegas presentation in association with Siraco Productions Limited on the Race Day Las Vegas Radio Network.
Live from the gaming capital of the world, time for Race Day Las Vegas, covering the sport of kings with a Las Vegas perspective. Now to the race desk with your host, Ralph Siraco.
From the backstretch to the turf club, at the race books and on the internet, to all horse players around the world, a good morning. All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Race Day Las Vegas radio program. We come to you live and direct from the gaming capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada, right here at our studio station, the South Point Studios at the South Point Hotel Casino Complex on Las Vegas Boulevard in your gaming capital. And, of course, on YouTube. You go to YouTube and go to the South Point Studios search. You'll get right to the page where we're streaming on YouTube live. Video streaming and audio streaming as well. And you can jump on and start joining the chatters. They're chatting away already on our website. on the YouTube website, that is. And all you have to do is just go there, YouTube, South Point Studios, and you get to that page, hit subscribe. We want you to subscribe. It's free. And then you can get in the chat and start chatting away. Talk the good, bad, ugly about us, whatever you want to do. And we'll see if we can get to some of the chats if time permits a little bit later on. We also want to welcome all of our listeners who are listening, running around town early this morning here in Las Vegas at our anchor radio station here in Las Vegas, Sports Talk 1400 AM and 107.1 FM on the dial here. And our websites, racedaylasvegas.com, .vegas, .world, .global. You can get us there as well. And certainly anywhere you get podcasting. And we have your devices covered as well. Get your apps at your device app store so you can hear us or see us. You get the KSHP app that you can listen to us through the radio station. And, of course, the YouTube app where you can see and hear us on the YouTube app through YouTube. So we welcome you, no matter how you get us, wherever you get us, and whenever you get us. Welcome to the Race Day Show for this almost Friday, Thursday. All right, today there's a little bit more kick in the step of folks here in Las Vegas, certainly the patrons here and the customers, because it is the opening day of the real NFL season. Starts for real today. Tonight, the Thursday night game will feature the Kansas City Chiefs hosting the Baltimore Ravens in a game that right now sits between 2.5 and 3-point favorite of the home team, Kansas City. And, of course, Rich Eng will give us a little bit more on that. And we're looking ahead, of course, to racing resuming in New York at Aqueduct. The Belmont at Aqueduct meet will start 1 week from tomorrow on the 13th, Friday the 13th. It's going to be a lucky day for folks out there in New York. Friday the 13th will be opening day at Aqueduct. They're now in their shift. They're moving from Saratoga to Aqueduct. And, of course, in Southern California, we wrap up Del Mar, where the turf meets the surf this weekend. We have today, tomorrow, Saturday, and closing day Sunday at Del Mar. And then they'll be shifting up to Orange County, where they'll run the short summer meet at Los Alamitos, and we'll be covering that as well. So we're in a kind of a shift between summertime and the fall racing meets. Of course, as you know, Labor Day was the unofficial ending of summer. We actually don't end summertime on the calendar until the 22nd of this month, but we're moving ahead to fall racing and our run up to the Breeders' Cup on the first weekend of November. So we'll be keeping an eye on all those horses. But this week, center of attention really is on Kentucky Downs, where they have just a multitude of stakes races. We're talking about big time, like Breeders' Cup Day stakes racing purses. On Saturday at Kentucky Downs, there'll be 6 stakes races worth $2 million each. 6 of them. That's $12 million right there. And, of course, a lot of the big-time jockeys, horses, and trainers are there for those big purses at Kentucky Downs. They will resume racing at Kentucky Downs, the most unique racetrack configuration on the North American continent today. Rich Eng, of course, is doing a sheet for Kentucky Downs, so we'll rely on him for a pick there at Kentucky Downs today. Also, want to remind everybody that on Saturday, Colonial Downs will have 6 stakes races there as well, and it'll be featured by the $500,000 Virginia Derby and the $250,000 Virginia Oaks. So we'll be taking a look at those 2 races with Jonathan Hardoon a little bit later on. And, of course, Del Mar will feature the 2-year-olds as the closing weekend did at Saratoga with the hopeful. Del Mar, of course, will have 3 stakes races on Saturday. One of them will be the Juvenile Turf Fillies and the Del Mar Debutante, which is the big race for the 2-year-old fillies at Del Mar, and the John C. Maybe. And, of course, on Sunday, Del Mar will feature the Del Mar Futurity, featuring the best 2-year-olds at Del Mar this year. And, of course, Bob Baffert is loaded for both those races, as you know. So taking a look at any of the other action going on, I can tell you this. Weather is going to be beautiful today. The weather across the country, don't see any clouds, don't see any precipitation, don't see anything at all but clear skies across the entire United States today. That's good news. As far as the temperature is concerned, here in Las Vegas, 86 degrees right now here this morning in Vegas. We're going to get up to 109, which is typical at this time of the year. So just stay hydrated anyhow. That looks like the temperature range for the entire weekend, in case you want to jump on up and come on up and enjoy some of the first weekend of football and the closing weekend at Del Mar here in Las Vegas at the South Point. That'll be just about the weather here. It's always fast, firm, and perfect, though, on the race and sports books. As far as the rest of the country is concerned, look at this. Tampa Bay, 91 degrees. New York City, 78. Pleasant, 78 there. You've got 88 in Chicago. The hot spot of the country today, again, will be in Phoenix. Phoenix, Arizona gets into 113 degrees today in Phoenix. Here in Las Vegas, as I say, 109. Southern California, you ready for this? 103 degrees today in Southern California. 103 in Los Angeles. Wow. Do believe it'll be a little bit cooler, though, down in San Diego by the beach in Southern California where Del Mar is at, but we'll wait and see. We'll check in with Jon Lindo a little bit later on, but it's a little bit hot under the collar when you get over 100 degrees in Southern California. And, of course, in Kansas City, where they'll be playing the NFL game tonight, it's 91 degrees. But the weather looks really typically just great across the country. Want to remind everybody out there, too, that here at the South Point Studios streaming network on YouTube, we have a couple of really neat shows, of course, and the one that we'll be centering on today is Sports by the Book. Now, that's with Alex and Jeff. They come on at 9 o'clock right after our show, about an hour after our show, Sports by the Book. They're going to be taking a look at tonight's action in the NFL between Kansas City and Baltimore. So keep that in mind. Stay right here. Come on back here at this South Point Studios streaming network at 9 a.m. for Sports by the Book. They're really going to get into it for the football season, as you know. College football already underway. The NFL starts today. You must bookmark Sports by the Book at 9 a.m. this morning. All right, taking a look at some of the notes of across the country. Del Mar has released their stake schedule for the Breeders' Cup weekend. It'll host 20 stakes races aside from the Breeders' Cup over the Breeders' Cup weekend during its 5-week autumn meeting. That starts, by the way, Del Mar starts on October 31st. And, of course, as you know, it'll be the first weekend. The first weekend in November will be the Breeders' Cup hosted at Del Mar. And then they'll go through December 1st. Of course, the Breeders' Cup races will be run on November 1st and 2nd. So they got a big 20 stakes races there for the Breeders' Cup, from the Breeders' Cup races during the 5-week autumn meet. And that's always good news. Jockey Kyle Frey is going to get a 1-day suspension for a whip violation with HISA. So he's going to take that 1-day suspension on Saturday. He had the whip violation on August 30th. So there you go. They're counting the whipping again for the jockeys as well. All right. We're going to take our first break because what I want to do is I want to get into some of the races with Jonathan Hardoon. So Jonathan Hardoon's with us today. Believe it or not, folks, he cowboyed up and did a sheet for Kentucky Downs. So he'll have a Kentucky Downs thought as well. Rich Eng, of course, will have, he has a sheet both for Kentucky Downs and Del Mar, as Jonathan does. And, of course, Jon Lindo will have his Del Mar sheet as well as Jerry J's power page for Del Mar. So we're up and underway on this almost Friday, Thursday, Race Day Las Vegas radio program. We will be back with more and your menu right after this.
South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you've still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza.
All right, back on Race Day Las Vegas for this Thursday racing program, and we are going to go right to your racing menu for today. Reminding you, as we always do, the first post times we broadcast on this menu each and every day reflect that of the Pacific time zone. So if you're listening here in Las Vegas, these will be the first post times that roll out in our race books today, especially here behind me at the South Point Race Book. If you're listening in the Pacific time zone anywhere that you're getting us through all our platforms, these will be the first post times. However, as we say before, if you're listening in another time zone, and we know a lot of you are because we go around the world through our formats and our platforms, just adjust from whatever time zone you're in to the Pacific time zone. This way you won't miss an opportunity to make a bet. We don't want you to miss anything like I miss Mom and Dad, okay? And the chatters are chatting away today. Got some pics from our chat box there on our YouTube website at Race Day Las Vegas. All right, we begin with Colonial Downs today. Colonial Downs has a dozen races today. The first three races will be steeplechase races, and the third race will, the first, second, and third races will all be at 2.25 miles over the hurdles. The first three races are steeplechase races. Then you have 9, what they call on the flat. Of those 9 races, there's only one dirt race. The other 8 will be on the turf course. That's what's happening today at Colonial Downs. They have a regular pick 6 carryover, not a jackpot, but a regular pick 6 carryover at Colonial Downs today of $3,549. And their first post time at Colonial Downs is at 8:45. So they're getting started early at Colonial Downs with the steeplechase races. Delaware Park is next. They have 8 races at Delaware Park, and their first post time at Delaware Park is at 9:30. 9:30 at Delaware Park today. Following that is Belterra Park. Belterra Park has 8 races, and their first post time is also 9:35. 9:35 at Belterra. Then we get to Kentucky Downs, and I'm going to tell you, if you look at the sheet of Kentucky Downs, every race is oversubscribed. 16 in the first race, 13 in the second, 15 in the third, 16 in the fourth, 15 in the fifth. You get the message. I mean, it's just overflow fields with big purses there. And today at Kentucky Downs, their stakes race today will be the $500,000 One Dreamer Stakes. It'll be the 9th on the card. At 1 mile and 70 yards on the turf for fillies and mares 3-year-olds and up. 16, or make that 15 are entered in there. And it is a wide open affair, as most races are at Kentucky Downs. The morning line favorite in the race is at 7-2, and that is Peplio. Peplio is 7-2 with Florent Garreau aboard. That's the 9th race on the card. You got 10 races at Kentucky Downs and a first post time of 10:25. All right, next comes Indiana Horseshoe Indianapolis in Indiana. Horseshoe Indianapolis has 10 races, 9 thoroughbreds. The last race will be a quarter horse race, and the first post time at Horseshoe Indianapolis is set at 11:10. Hawthorne Racecourse is next. Hawthorne's got 9 races today from Chicago. Hawthorne has a first post time of 12:10 at Hawthorne. And then we'll get to where that turf meets the surf at Old Del Mar. And first post time today, check it out, it's a little bit earlier today than the usual post time, 1:30. For the last couple of days for the meet, the weekday post times will be at 1:30. Only the Friday post time will be different, so it'll be 1:30 today, Saturday and Sunday. They have 8 races today at Del Mar. First post time is at 1:30 again. And just in case you're interested, that new 3x3 trifecta bet they're offering there, well, it has a carryover of $3,031 if you choose to partake. First post time is 1:30 at Del Mar. Woodbine has 8 races today north of the border. They got a couple of nice carryovers. Their Super High 5 jackpot carryover, $23,605. Their Pick 6 jackpot carryover, $38,633. And a first post time at Woodbine is set at 150. 150 at Woodbine today. Canterbury Park kicks in with 8 races. Their first post time is at 310. 310 at Canterbury Park. Remington Park will be the final one on our menu. Remington Park has 9 races, and their first post time today at Remington Park is set at 4:30. 4:30 first post at Remington Park. And that's your Thursday menu of racetracks available today. All right, let's go to Jonathan Hardoon standing by in his domicile. Jonathan, good morning.
Good morning, Ralph. How are you?
I'm doing fine, my man. The weather is nice out here, and it's just, the football season starting today, so you always have something to do a little bit later on in the day with the Thursday night game. But Kentucky Downs and Del Mar will be taking most of our attention today. And with Kentucky Downs, it's a unique racetrack, no doubt about it. It's got a European flavor to it with the undulations, up and down, big turns, and all that stuff there. But I got to tell you, the only complaint I have about Kentucky Downs is not the purse values, obviously, and the fact that the people at that racetrack are really trying to do a great job, and they're getting some great racing for the short time they have there at Kentucky Downs. But can they just invest a little bit more in the camera angles and the cameras? If nothing else, use a drone to follow the field, because
it's so difficult to watch races, Ralph. I mean, when they're turning for home, fine. Then they give you a head-on shot in the middle of the straight. Then they switch to the pan shot. It's just you get it, and if you have a horse that's not up there, you have no idea really where he is. It's a very difficult racetrack to watch races at.
And they've got the voice of the Breeders' Cup, Larry Comas, that's calling the races there. I can just imagine what kind of a job that he has to do to overcome the angles and all that stuff there. And really, you kind of depend on him, listening to him, because you kind of lose horses every once in a while. I know it's difficult because of the configuration of the racetrack, but with this drone coverage now, horse racing has really stepped up their coverage as far as television is concerned with the drones. I mean, the New York Racing Association does a great job on Fox TV with their drone coverage on their television coverage there. And just use some drones if you have to,
You would think the purses are so big and they're putting so much money in the purses, they would care a little bit about the players and the fans and even the owners. They want to know where the hell their horse is when they're watching a race. It just, I don't know. And every year you think, well, maybe next year they'll have it right. But they keep repeating the same thing. It's been the same way for years. So doesn't get any better. And in this time, with all the technology they have in this world, you would certainly think that they could figure something out.
Yeah, let's hope they do, because, it's really some great racing. And as we talked about before on other shows, it seems like horses who like that track, who run over that racetrack, jockeys who have been successful over that racetrack, and the trainers who point to that meet are the ones that you have to put a little bit more emphasis on during this meeting.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Mike Maker's been the number one guy here the last couple of years, but he's having a slow meet. This year it appears to be Joe Sharp. I think he has 6 or 7 wins, out of 16 starts. So every horse he's sending out is running. You have to pay attention, and you have to include those horses.
Well, we've got, I guess, you guys, I mean, I don't know exactly how you and Jerry do your handicapping with your numbers and your et cetera, but how do you do it at all? Massage any of the numbers to the layout of the racetrack, or you just go with what your system says?
Well, you try to find horses that have run there in the past, and we keep records on every single race of every horse's career, so you can go back and look how. The problem is when you're dealing with maiden races and first-time field of horses that have never run over it, well, then all you could do is rely on the figures and hope that they transfer to that track. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. That's honestly why I don't like doing the place. I don't like sending out information where I'm not where I'm not totally confident in my work, but I do the best I can, and I put a little precautionary note on it: proceed with caution. So there you have it.
Also, I guess that when you get to those races, and for example, the first two races today at Kentucky Downs are 2-year-old maidens, and so with the lack of past performances, obviously there's a lot of first-time starters going in there, and I mean with the purse values, I think they're going for $175,000 or something ridiculous like that. That you might have to rely on a little bit of the breeding to see which ones have a certain kind of turf breeding to it.
Yeah, and you have to watch the board, see who takes money, who's live. Money usually is strong at that track. They know what they're doing, and that's all you could really rely on. You could watch the board, see who's taking money, and rely on workouts and breeding for the most part. But what do workouts really mean? If they're going 7 furlongs in their career debut, they've never worked that far for the most part, and they've never worked over that track. So how do we know who likes what? That's what makes it that more difficult.
I can tell you, if you can connect the dots, though, at the Kentucky Downs, you're going to get paid off, that's for sure. But there's been enough favorites winning at Kentucky Downs where you're right. You got to take a look at the tote board and see where the action is at, because not every race is a panacea of payoffs. There's a lot of races there that come down to whoever was the favorite on the board wins. But you do have a sheet for that. Of course, you're going to have one for Saturday with all those $2 million races. And come Saturday, we'll take a look at those 6 $2 million races. But today, the feature race is a paltry $500,000. It's the One Dreamer Stakes at 1 mile and 70 yards on the turf for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. And a full field of 15 there before any scratches. And you can tell that the morning line maker has almost the same amount of handicapping dilemma that we do, because the morning line favorite there is 7-2 with Florent Garreau aboard. How do you see that race?
What race number is that, Ralph?
It's the 9th race on the card.
Yeah, I liked the 5 horse in there, Sister Luen. Safi Joseph sends out this 5-year-old mare. I think she's sitting on a big race. An interesting price horse in there is the Maker horse, number 9, Stir Crazy. Those were the 2 horses I really liked in that race, the 5 and 9. 9 is listed at 12-1. 5 is listed at 9-2. And guess what? It's the Ortiz brothers, so can't go wrong using those guys.
Well, yeah, it's certainly right. You can't go wrong using them. But believe me when I tell you that with New York not running until next Friday, and certainly even in Southern California, some of those jocks are booking it down to Kentucky Downs for all the big bucks, the big purses that are up for grabs there. That's going to be a hell of a jockey colony there, because you're going to mix in, the American, the best of the American riders on both coasts, plus some of the Europeans that are coming over and trying to get that money as well. Big purses there. $17 million will be given away over the 2-day period over the weekend at Kentucky Downs. I would imagine you're going to give us a pick both there and at Del Mar.
Yes, sir. First of our 2 radio plays comes in the 3rd race today at Kentucky Downs. It's 1.5 miles over their turf course, and I like the number 5 horse in here, Swore. This is a 5-year-old gelding from the Grand Motion Barn, second start back off of a layoff. He's 1-for-1 at Kentucky Downs. His 1 win was run at this distance last year. He's listed at 8-1 on the morning line. So he fits he checks all the boxes for me. Johnny V for Grand Motion, 8-1 on the morning line. I like number 5, Swore, to win today's 3rd race out at Kentucky Downs.
At 1.5 miles on that course, the 3rd race, number 5, Swore, is your play. 8-1 on the morning line with John Velasquez, the 5 in the 3rd race at Kentucky Downs. Now we go to Del Mar and SoCal. And at least a little bit more, I wouldn't say easier, but a little bit more conventional in the handicapping there at Del Mar. We're getting into the last 4 days of racing there. And, we're going to be featuring the 2-year-olds certainly this weekend at Del Mar with the debutante and the futurity. And we all know that Bob Baffert's got that thing cornered with all his, I don't know, I just lost count of how many first-time starter 2-year-olds, the royally bred horses that he's had that have broken their maiden at Del Mar by zip codes. So he's having one hell of a meet there with the 2-year-olds, that's for sure. But we have 8 races today. it looks like it's pretty competitive too for today's racing at Del Mar, Jonathan.
Some good betting races, Ralph, and we're going to look at the 6th race today. 5 furlongs on the turf, and I'm going to take a swing for the fences here with a big priced horse. Number 6, Giant Kid, a 4-year-old filly from the big Bill McLean barn. Kyle Frey aboard to ride. She's listed at a ridiculous 20-1 on the morning line. The horse had excuse last time out. She had a troubled trip. The race 2 starts back was sneaky good. The price is way too big to pass up. I like number 6, Giant Kid, 20-1 on the morning line to upset and win today's 6th race out at Del Mar.
All right, you're going to give everybody down there a horse that they can bet and cash out and pay the bill for that hotel they've been staying at all meet long. Hopefully in the 6th race, number 6, Giant Kid. We hope at a giant price and a giant win. Number 6 in the 6th race is Jonathan Hardoon's play at 20-1. With Mr. Kyle Frey, who's got to sit on the bench on Saturday for whipping a horse too many times.
But he had quite a terrific weekend last weekend, Ralph, so hopefully he keeps the mojo going.
Yes, hopefully he could sit in handicap on Saturday, if nothing else. 6th race, the 6th horse at Del Mar. You have full sheets, as I say, for both Kentucky Downs and Del Mar, and tell them where to get it.
Website, JONHARDOON.com. Thank you, Ralph. Stay safe, be well. See you tomorrow.
All right, you got it, my man. And we will be back on this Almost Friday Race Day show with Rich Eng, who is standing by to give us his first selection for the NFL, real NFL season that starts today right after this. Don't go away.
Thank you, buddy.
There are many families that need your help. I'm Mark Wahlberg, and I'm asking you to support the Tunnel to Towers Foundation in their efforts to deliver mortgage-free homes to catastrophically injured service members, Gold Star, and fallen first responders families with young children, as well as eradicating homelessness amongst our veterans. Everybody knows where the money's going. Every single dollar. God bless you. Please contribute $11 a month to support their efforts by visiting t2t.org.
Hello, I'm Dennis Quaid. For years, Tunnel to Towers has demonstrated a commitment to first responders and military families. They've paid off mortgages and built specially adapted smart homes. Now the foundation is expanding its mission to eradicate veteran homelessness. Please give our veterans a chance to reclaim their dignity by donating at t2t.org.
South Point is also proud to provide a variety of relaxing amenities for the guests who want to be pampered. Soak up the sun and let your stress melt away in our lagoon-style Paradise swimming pool. A relaxing getaway where you can bask in the desert sun and enjoy seasonal food and bar service poolside. And if you really want to escape, come to Spa Costa del Sur. From couple suites to a co-ed wet area, our spa caters to business and leisure travelers who want to unwind and elevate their senses. A visit to one of our spa's steam, sauna, or whirlpool treatment rooms will leave any guest feeling like they can take on the world.
Back on Race Day Las Vegas. We're chatting away on the chat page here on the Race Day site at YouTube. Got a couple of nice chats there for us. One of the chatters did say if they can afford to stay across the street at Del Mar, then they don't need a 20-1 shot. Everybody needs a 20-1 shot. But thanks a lot for that comment. And Warrior wants to congratulate us on our 200th show here in the studio. 200. Show number 200 here at the South Point Studio at YouTube on the South Point Studio Network. So we're happy to be here and hope we can get 2 more at least going for sure. Okay, time to go to Rich Eng standing by. Richie, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Ralphie. Good morning, viewers. Good morning, listeners.
Surprised you don't have one of your football jerseys or caps on today.
No, I leave that for Jerry. I only root for the team that I'm actually betting on nowadays, Ralph.
Well, we of course, the new season starts today for real. and the defending Super Bowl champions, the Kansas City Chiefs, will host the Baltimore Ravens in Kansas City tonight. You have said that the number has been fluctuating between 2.5 and 3. My understanding is I think it's 2.5 right now as we speak here at the South Point. It can change at any minute. But it looks like it's a pretty tight number for the opening in the NFL. So how do you see it?
It's a terrific opener. Kansas City and Baltimore, they've been two of the elite teams for the last decade or more with Andy Reid and John Harbaugh coaching the two teams. There's been a lot of stability and a lot of talent going through those two rosters. I just give a small edge to Kansas City tonight. They're the defending Super Bowl champions. And, Andy Reid, probably that was his best coaching job of his career, because if people recall the start of last season, the Chiefs lost the opener to Detroit in a very close game. But the key player who actually turned the tide of that game was a wide receiver named Kadarius Toney for Kansas City. He dropped 3 key passes for the Chiefs that really cost them the game. He's no longer a Chief. He got cut in the preseason. But this team was rebuilding, Ralph, and they still were able to win the Super Bowl. They started like 5 or 6 first and second year players on defense. By the end of the year, they had like the best defense in the league. Baltimore has a couple of questions, and that's one reason I'm leaning to Kansas City. Baltimore lost its defensive coordinator, McDonald, to the Seattle Seahawks. He's the new head coach there. And the Baltimore offensive line is completely rebuilt. They've got a lot of new kids in there, a lot of young kids. I think that'll be a big test to try to hold up against the Kansas City front seven. So let's go with the Chiefs, minus 2.5 tonight.
All right. When it gets to 3, still laying on the Chiefs?
You know what, Ralph? If there's 2.5 out there, I don't know why anyone would bet 3.
But I'm saying, wait a minute, Richie. I'm saying it's 2.5 now, but a kid fluctuate. If it gets up to 3, is it still a bet?
A big part of betting on sports, Ralph, is just like in horse racing. Sure. You want to get the price. You want to get value. Right. So if you bet 3 instead of 2.5, you're only doing yourself a disservice. That's basically what I can say about that.
All right. So in other words, then you would just sit there and watch it and have some popcorn when it gets to 3. What about the over/under? I think it's 47, isn't it?
You know what? I'm not going to touch the over/under. In the history of my betting, Ralph, I have been quite frankly, a lousy totals player. But I like to pick spots. I think the last 4 sports picks on the show, have all won between preseason and college. So let's see if we can keep the winning streak going.
All right. Well, let's see if we can grab the 2.5 before it gets to 3, if it ever gets to 3. But it's going to be a good game tonight. Now, back to the races. I know you're doing Kentucky Downs, and you have a penchant to like handicapping Kentucky Downs. And so before we get to your pick there is the big feature race, the One Dreamer, and it's a wide-open event. Do you have an opinion on that?
Yeah, in the One Dreamer, I went for the 4-horse Papilio as my top choice. I know the track has been, quite frankly, playing towards speed, but there's a lot of speed in this race, and Papilio is a closer, so that was my lean, certainly the number 4 Papilio in the 9th. As far as a pick for the radio show, I had sent one in to you guys in race 7, the number 12 Pax Americana. Then I just noticed the horse was scratched in the 7th, so I have a backup pick. Let's go to race number 10, Ralph. It's a maiden special. There's a lot of maiden specials. Mile and 5/16. The horse I like is the number 10, Racontus. This horse getting a little long in the tooth, Ralph, is 0 for 9, still a maiden. But the thing that I like is the switch of the rider to Luis Saez, and this horse does have some tactical speed. I really expect him to send with this horse, and at a mile and 5/16, Luis Saez is a dangerous jockey on the front end. So let's go with the 10, Racontus, and Kentucky Downs 10.
All right, easy to remember. 10th race at Kentucky Downs, number 10, Racontus, the 10-horse in the 10th race at Kentucky Downs is your play. And, of course, you have full sheets for Kentucky Downs at Del Mar. So now we'll get to Del Mar.
Yeah, let's go to race number 3, Ralph. And I think some of your listeners might like this meat on the bones pick. In race 3, it's a mile on the main track, claiming 25. The horse I like is the number 1, Ready to Pounce. 8-1 in the morning line for Philip D'Amato. Hector Barrios rides. This is a ship and win horse, Ralph. This horse was claimed back at Churchill Downs. Ran last time for $40,000 in a sprint. Just ran kind of evenly, but now he's dropped down in class and stretched out to 2 turns. Still eligible for the ship and win. So I really think this is a live horse at 8-1, Ralph. Let's go with the 1, Ready to Pounce in the 3rd.
All right, third race, number 1, Ready to Pounce. The 1 horse in the 3rd race at Del Mar is your play. And, of course, you got a full sheet at Del Mar as well, and Kentucky Downs. Both of them are available at the racedaylasvegas.com website. And Richie's suggestion is grab that 2.5 for Kansas City for today. Hey, thanks a lot, Rich. We will talk to you tomorrow.
Hey, thanks, Ralph. Good luck, everybody.
Final break coming up, and then John and Jerry will wrap it up, so don't go away.
South Point offers all the types of entertainment you'd expect at a first-class Las Vegas resort. Did you know our 400-seat showroom is one of Las Vegas's top destinations for live entertainment? Enjoy live performances by classic Vegas entertainers, bands, and today's hottest comedians, plus a rock and dance floor. You can also enjoy live entertainment at the Grandview Lounge, where you'll feel all the vibes of old Las Vegas. Enjoy the music, and if you love to laugh, don't miss The Dirty at 12:30, our very own free comedy show, every Friday night at 12:30 a.m. in the Grandview Lounge. The Dirty is 100% free, so arrive early. Go to southpointcasino.com or call the box office at 77136 for today's performances at the showroom and the Grandview Lounge. When you're ready for your favorite cocktail, stop in and unwind at one of our 7 specialty lounges. There's a bar around every corner, because you're in Vegas, baby.
It's Derby time at Los Alamitos when the West Coast Best race in the Golden State Derby Final. The field will be headed by fastest qualifier Rockin' with Energy, who has been on a roll with back-to-back wins. Plus, top filly Cowgirl Up has also impressed. They'll face the top sophomore male at Los Alamitos right now in Grade 1 winner BP Cartel Policy. Plus Governor's Cup Derby winner Mask Mandate and more. What a quarter horse derby it'll be. It's the Golden State Derby at Los Alamitos.
The Race Day Las Vegas Show, the only exclusive daily local media racing information source in Las Vegas.
Alrighty, back on Race Day Las Vegas. Time to wrap it up with our team that wraps up each and every show, and that is John and Jerry. We now go to Jon Lindo standing by. John, good morning.
Good morning, Ralph. How you doing?
Doing fine, my man. Looks like a pretty nice card today at Del Mar to start off the last 4 days of the meet this year.
Yeah, and the field sizes will be good. Saturday's card, a lot of over full fills, and they want to get the fast races in before we take on over those. So interest will be good the rest of this weekend.
Of course, the big 2-year-old races, the debutante and the futurity have Bob Baffert surrounding those 2 races. So I guess that's nothing new compared to all of those first-time starting 2-year-olds, royally bred horses that won by zip codes all through the meet at Del Mar. I don't know how many, unless you do, but there's been quite a few of them.
Well, as far as the Colts go, he's won every maiden special weight for open company except for 2.
Wow.
The fillies, there are, I think, 7 in the debutante, and 2 of them are Bob Baffert's, including Nooney, who I think they paid $1.8 million for earlier this year. So she's the headliner going into the debutante.
And John, of course, the big bucks this week is all at Kentucky Downs. Will you be doing anything for those big races there?
Yeah, they've got a all-stakes pick 5 races, 6 through 10 on Saturday. So I'll cover those 5 races at Kentucky Downs in addition to the daily coverage at Del Mar.
All right, we're going into the final 4 days at Del Mar, so let's check that jockey trainer standing and see if there's anything that could be up for grabs as far as the title is concerned.
Well, as far as the jocks go, Juan Hernandez has been rolling. He's opened up on the field. He's got 42 wins at the meet. Antonio Fresu is second with 31. Umberto Rispoli has 27. And then as far as the trainers, Bob Baffert, we mentioned him with the 2-year-olds, 21 wins so far at Del Mar. Doug O'Neill's and John Sadler, they're tied for second with 17. And you've got Phil D'Amato doing his work on the turf. He's got 16 winners.
Yeah, I'll bet you at least half of those 21 wins for Baffert came with the 2-year-olds.
At least. I'm going to say more than that.
What about the favorites?
Favorites are right around 35% for the meet.
Okay, and John, I want to emphasize the fact that the Lindo Report is here at the South Point. It is here free of charge every day, complimentary here at the South Point Racebook for the players because they love horse players here. And your Lindo Report for the entire Del Mar season that has been challenging on a lot of occasions has done a great job so far. 81 winners off of the Lindo Report picks in the races at Del Mar from 252 top picks. That's 32.1%. That's almost as good as the favorites are doing right now there. But the total mutuals of $541.20 provides a flat bet profit for those picks. You're doing that was a great job this year, and you're not done yet, obviously, for the Lindo Report because it's available today here at the South Point with a suggested late pick 4 as well, and all the goodie information we just talked about, and one comprehensive sheet right here at the South Point Racebook free of charge for today. But good work there.
Well, thanks, Ralph. That's the goal every meet, to try and show a flat bet profit, making selections every race, every day. It's not easy, so if we can do it, especially, I feel real good about that.
Yeah, you sure should. That's for sure. And looking at the races today, where are we going with a pick?
I'm going to take on Rich Eng. I have a horse in the third race I like. Number 3, Zimba Warrior. Came out on the track last time. His coat looked so good, and physically he just looked like he's blossoming, and he ran to it. He won easily for 12.5. Gets a triple jump up in class today. That's a positive sign. There's some pace in here that he can stalk. He showed more tactical speed last time. 4-1 on the morning line. You have Raylu Gutierrez riding because Edwin Maldonado is in all places. He's in South Korea this week to ride Anarchus for Doug O'Neill in the South Korea sprint, some kind of sprint stakes race. So Maldonado's gone, but we've got Gutierrez here. 4-1, number 3, Zimba Warrior, third race, Del Mar.
So we've got Edwin Maldonado. You would think that, well, he was at Kentucky Downs last week on a Southern California horse there as well, right?
Yes, he was. Yes, now an international traveler.
Wow, something else. Well, we're if it's Doug O'Neill training it, and Edwin Maldonado is he pegged Edwin Maldonado to go halfway around the world to ride this horse. We're going to figure this horse has speed and wants to get out of the gate in good order.
I'm going to guess he's at least live, right?
Yeah, you better believe it, my man. But since we can't yet play racing with simulcasting from South Korea, we'll just go ahead and try to get that third race winner here. In the third race, number 3, Zimba Warrior, the 3 in the third race. Raylu Gutierrez is just fine. He'll do fine on the horse. You got the 3 in the third race. Now, of course, with Richie coming with the 1, we have a Siraco play. And so the Siraco play on this third race would be the 1-3-3-1 exacta box. You, however, are number 3 there. Looking ahead to the weekend at Del Mar, I would have to say that the racing cards, before they wrap up at Del Mar, should be pretty full fields, don't you think?
Yeah, the races Saturday that have been drawn, I think 115 horses in those 11 races. So that's 10 a race. And we'll enter today for closing day Sunday. I'm anticipating the same kind of entry, the busy entry box. So we'll have a good weekend to finish it off.
All right, John. And, I already mentioned the fact that Kyle Frey's getting 1 day. He's going to sit on the bench Saturday for hitting a horse one too many times.
Well, he can count the money he won in the Pacific Classic from last Saturday.
Yeah, he can line up all those $100 bills and stack them up for while he's waiting there. That's for sure. Hey, thanks a lot, John. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right. Good luck today.
Oh, but wait. Before I let you go, do you have a thought at all about the football game tonight?
No, really don't. I'm going to get into that once we're done with Del Mar here, and I can concentrate a little bit on some other stuff. So got to finish off this meet first.
I know you're concentrating a lot on the Chargers and the Rams, though, right?
Well, my favorite team is anybody who plays the Chargers since they left San Diego.
Okay, well, we're homies here, so we're going to be rooting for the Raiders. It'll be a tough year for them, but we're going to be fans are fans, that's for sure. Thanks a lot, John.
Okay, good luck.
All right, and now we go to Jerry Jacovitz, who we know is a Giants fan, but also a Raiders fan. Good morning, Jerry.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This house is full of both.
Yes.
Giants and Raiders.
Okay.
We love them both.
Well, we will.
It's really funny you talk about football because, I'm a fan, so take it with a grain of salt. But
certainly,
when I look at the Giants and I think about, for example, how they won 6 games last year with the worst offensive line in the history of professional football and with their third-string quarterback, I can't help but think that they're going to go back to the way they were 2 years ago or better. I mean, they have a coach that knows how to win games, and I don't know. I think they're going to have a really good season. So I'm giving that back to my friend Richie Yang.
Okay. Yes, you are. That's right, because Richie was not complimentary with the Giants and his thoughts a couple of weeks ago. But
the Raiders.
Yeah, what about
the Raiders? Might be better than you think. Also,
well, the Raiders. I think what is the pivotal thing with the Raiders is obviously the quarterback. We, our quarterback isn't a named quarterback, and we didn't draft to get a named quarterback, so we're going with the guys that they had. On the field there, and hopefully we can make a star out of one of our quarterbacks. But we're going to need that play from quarterback is going to have to be good this year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, there's no doubt the quarterback's going to have to play well, but they're capable. They can do it.
Sure, it's the NFL. Anything can happen. Just like racing on the racetrack, anything can happen. So you got Power Pages today for Del Mar. It looks like a pretty competitive, good card at Del Mar today.
Yeah, not bad. It's okay. It's not anything special, but it's okay. I mean, if you had a steady diet of cards like this, you'd be happy.
Yeah, it's a Thursday card. Okay, what are we doing today?
Well, first thing I'm going to mention is a good reason to not only maybe have Jon Lindo's or Richie Yang's sheet, to have the Power Page with them, have two at one time. As it turns out, John's selection is a star horse. Zimba Warrior is a star horse on the Power Page. So,
it certainly is.
That's a little something. That might be worth something to your head. I'm going to the second race for my play today.
Okay, can I ask you one thing real quick? Somebody mentioned this to me. They said on your sheet sometimes you'll have more than one feature play. How do you decide a feature play and why on some days there's more than one?
If there's two, a feature play is, we've discussed this before, a feature play is a horse with some what I think is very obvious handicapping positives, but the price isn't great. It's okay. If it's if it's a 2-to-1 shot, it's 3-to-1. It's that sort of stuff.
Okay.
Where a pop-out key might be a little more subtle and have an 8-to-1 or a 10-to-1 morning line. So there's more value in the pop-out keys. But feature plays are good plays. They should run a lot.
Okay.
They should be good, what I call frequency plays.
And the only reason why I ask again is because today you do have two feature plays on the show. So where are we going?
Let's go to the second race round.
Okay.
This is a little richer than the other one. Number 2, Recinto Romper. He's 6-to-1 morning line. I'm not sure why, but she looks awfully good to me. She runs really nicely most of the time. And, Leonard Powell, really well posted on the inside with a good clean trip from Rispoli. I like the horse. Let's make a good win place bet on number 2, Recinto Romper. Play the 2 with the 3, 4, 6, and 7.
Okay, and the second race, number 2 is the key. The link-ups are 3, 4, 6, 7, and reverse. I always do that little reverse. You can be a little bit wrong and still cash. 2 over 3, 4, 6, 7, and reverse. The 2 is the key in the first race today at Del Mar. And don't forget to get the Power Pages. He's got star horses, he's got feature plays, and he's even got a V-horse in the Power Pages today, right?
Correct.
All right, Jerry. And so we will wait until either the Giants or the Raiders play before we get any pick out of you for football. But we will remind everybody that the Power Pages for today at Del Mar is available at your website, jerryjspowerpage.com. So we wrap up today's show by reminding everybody that we'll be here for the entire weekend, God willing, and the creek don't rise. For the big races at Kentucky Downs. We'll try to get into the Virginia Derby and Virginia Oaks tomorrow. And, of course, the final weekend at Del Mar as well. And, there's more football games to come this weekend as well. So from the South Point Studios, in show number 200 is in the books. One more thing to say. Jerry is going to say it.
Have a great race day, everybody.